What up, my freaks? Ruinescence site here with another Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 Skalgrim Mod ship spotlight. So we are continuing our look at the new ships brought in for the Tyranids in the mod, and this time we'll be turning to look at our first battle cruisers, specifically the Swarmship. Now, I know that before I've spoken about how Tyranids do tend to have ships that are hyper specialized into a single function. Well, this particular ship makes those other ships look like they're jack of all trades, and not specialized at all, because this ship only has one thing, and it's not even really a weapon, it's just a tentacles. And yes, I know that it says weapon on it, but it is one of those special weapons, right? It's not an actual a weapon subsystem, it's an active ability, more so. Anyway, so that's all it has. It's a really interesting ship, just by virtue of how that works. So its goal is obvious. It's there to soak damage, and just to continuously apply those feeder tentacles to cause assault actions. One of the unfortunate things about it is that feeder tentacles do work at fairly low range, at 7,500 units, so you can't really do this from a crazy distance, whereas this weaponless ship might be safe. But considering the fact that it is meant to function as a sort of tank, that does make some sense, I suppose. Speaking of tank, 1800 shield on a 126 pointer, a battle cruiser, is very much shield. In fact, this ship is tailor-made for the spasmic excretion ability specifically. As long as the ship is in reload stance, its shield regeneration speed is increased by 100%. Obviously, you will want this particular ship to be in reload stance because it can continuously use those tentacles more and more often. The hook tentacles, though, I doubt that they are particularly useful on this ship, just by virtue of the fact that it doesn't have jaws like a hive ship or a titan would, and therefore ramming another ship into itself is probably not what you actually want. It does have a little bit of extra HP as well, and speaking about the massive amount of shield and HP, I just want to make a quick comparison to these two. And this has me somewhat confused, actually, the comparison between these two ships. And my confusion here is this. The Swarmship, despite the fact that it only has one tentacle, costs 126 points. That's quite a lot when you just consider the fact that the Biotentacles Devourer and Infestation Devourer also both have tentacles. And on top of having tentacles, the Infestation Devourer has 4 launch bays, and that's a lot of launch bays for an only 90 cost, whereas the Biotentacles Devourer has 2 launch bays and 2 lances as well, the Bioplasma weapons. So you're paying an extra 38 points for the Swarmship over the Biotentacles Devourer, and an extra 36 points over the Swarmship for the Swarmship over the Infestation Devourer. I personally find that kind of odd, just by virtue of the fact that tentacles are a fairly meh weapon. They've never been all that effective because they do have to be turned in a specific direction. They're fairly easy to dodge in that regard. You can just move your ship, and otherwise they are fairly close range, and they do take a long time to come into effect. So once again, this ship is meant to soak fire and try to stay alive essentially long enough to use this, but otherwise it really has nothing going for it. It's just meant to tentacle and board. I think the idea with this ship is to use it as a tank for the other ships, in the sense that you're probably not supposed to make a fleet of nothing but these, but rather have a couple of these out in the front to take in the damage with their shields, while the other ships, like for example the other carrier infestation devourers, or the tentacle devourers, I suppose, while they get to work with their carrier capacity, and these things can tank for them. Because on top of that, they do have that 72 defensive turrets, which is a lot more defensive turrets, and that will allow them to protect those other ships a little bit better. Though I dare say probably not as well as the harpy swarms that those other ships can generate. I think this is meant to be as a sort of addition, so that you can make a battle group out of basically just tentacle ships, just tentacle battle cruisers, with swarm ships out front, and then infestation devourers or biotentacle devourers, as you prefer, in the back. But generally speaking, I'm thinking that this ship, once again, is not meant to fly solo, especially since, regardless of the fact that it's a tank and the fact that it doesn't have any carrier carrier capacity means it would still be vulnerable to enemy craft, especially once those turrets do go down, although that'll be a little bit more difficult with the sheer number and the sheer tankiness of this ship. Anyway, let's take a quick look at it. It's gonna look exactly like all the other battle cruisers do, so we should be familiar with it already. So yeah, Swarmship, Infestation Devourer, really, you're not gonna tell them apart at a distance, other than the fact that the Swarmship doesn't have weaponry and the Infestation Devourer does. So unless you're looking at them really close, you'll never be able to tell them apart. So that's the battle cruisers. Not anything we're not familiar with if we haven't played the game, but we can also take a look at the various color schemes that they have. Gorgon, Jormungandr, Kraken, Leviathan, etc., etc. I didn't realize that this one actually had 3 colors on it, huh? Yeah, the other ones are more dual to... No, well, then I guess... I suppose I consider this like fleshy bit color, not as a separate tone. Yeah, okay, yeah, no, it's all there. Yeah, never mind. Ignore me. Maybe I just think the dual tone ones look better, like the Kraken one, as I have said that I think the Kraken one looks the best. Anyway, we're gonna go with this one this time, just by virtue of somebody asking for it in the comments of a previous episode. Oh, look at these little hooks just moving around. Cute. So are these supposed to be hooks, like hook onto an enemy ship, or are these supposed to be like cilia that help them? No, they move by virtue of their tails, right? Hence all the undulation that they've got going on. Anyway, let's get this thing into some battles. I'm really curious how it's going to perform. Now, for the purpose of this showcase, contrary to what I said, I'm going to be bringing a lot of swarm ships. Not what I said you want to do in most fleets, most likely, but I think regardless of what you do, you will want to bring a bunch of escorts when you're using a lot of these ships. Just by virtue of the fact that you want to get those escorts in, you want to get them using their spore fields, slowing down the enemy fleet, allowing you maximum amount of time to apply those tentacles before you start taking damage. As well, I am going to be bringing just a pair of Biotentacles Devourers just to get at least some Harpies on the field, and since they're cheaper, we'll be bringing 2, and they still add the tentacles, so I think it still maintains the type of fleet as it's supposed to be here. I just didn't want to bring no Harpies whatsoever, especially as a Tyranid Swarm. I feel like you really should have at least some carrier capacity. Anyway, let's launch. It looks like we're going to go up against Chaos the first time. I'm perfectly fine with that. Let's try it out against Chaos first. Should be one of the, I suppose, easier factions for them. Actually really curious. I have absolutely no idea how this is gonna go. That's the funny thing. Alright, let's set this up. Let's see what this ship can do. It's certainly a lot of effective HP with that amount of shields, although I suppose the shield's going to be super vulnerable to various factions that have got a lot of weaponry that can penetrate shields. So that's certainly something you gotta keep in mind. Otherwise, let's just see. Gotta try to keep that hive ship safe. That'll also be dangerous because I didn't, hive ship, synaptic node safe rather, because I didn't bring a hive ship that would keep our fleets from running once they've lost their brains. So gotta be careful there. The rest of you are gonna be group 2. Group 2, group 1. All of you can just hang out in the same area and try to apply those tentacles. Let's get to it. You are all going to go into reload to buff up your shield recharge. You are all going to go into brace for impact. We're going to set you up to 0 engagement range and auto engage as well. Ready, up, go. First, we'll move you. Move you guys right behind him. Yeah, also another big vulnerability for the tentacle type ships, the tentacle battle cruisers specifically, is the fact that they sort of have to stand still while applying the tentacles, i.e. they can't go side to side, otherwise the tentacle will detach, and that is definitely a problem for a number of reasons. One, boarding is going to be a lot more difficult because they do need to try to get near an enemy. I think the boarding range is 4,500 units, so I guess you're actually better off just getting close by. I actually specifically, because of this, in terms of upgrades, got the Lictor Infiltration upgrade. Yes, it's less assault actions and less troop damage, but at least it'll be activatable at a distance. Now, you guys are all getting a little bit too close together, I feel. It's partly because you're moving on your own. All right, fine. So jump everybody forward a little bit. There we go. Not too close, though. And then you guys keep moving forward. Looks like lots of little escorts from the Chaos Fleet, but we should be able to set up some of those spore fields there. In fact, speaking of spore fields, let's set one up right out there. Alrighty, and the other thing about the tentacles is it does make you vulnerable to things like stasis bombs, plasma bombs, and Nova cannons, so that is certainly a danger. Alright, you guys cancel that order, and oh, I don't actually want you all attacking the same ships. Oh, wow, you died fast. Alright, and we gotta get you guys moving forward. Let's just go adrenal glands. And then cancel order. You guys move forward, and then cancel order. Move forward. Forward. Yeah. The purpose of this is mainly distraction. Now, the unfortunate thing here is that there's a lot of escorts on the field, and our tentacle ships can't really do anything about them. So, yeah, that's definitely going to be a problem. You guys all need to recover your movement. We are just setting up spore fields here. Is that a freaking Photep? Okay. That's also going to be a problem. Alrighty, well, try to stop the Photep from moving, I guess. Everybody else keep doing your own thing. Yeah, just attack. Just attack. You go over here, maybe. Alright, our tentacle ships are moving in. We gotta get to that Photep and start applying our stuff. Let's get some defensive fighters going as well while we're at it. Now, here's the thing. You, use your hook tentacles. Wait, no, I use your feeder tentacles on you. And you use your feeder tentacles on you as well. Alright, well, you keep following. Alright, gotta get to those bigger ships. Now, the smaller ships, I think we can destroy with the hook tentacles, just by virtue of the fact that it does do a little bit of damage. There we go, and they are stuck in the spore fields, which is helping. Everybody else, try to move towards that Photep, boarded and stuff. The spores are certainly doing a decent amount of damage. You guys, maybe jump forward as well. I don't want our Admiral ship to get focused by the Photep, so get those, identify it, and then hook tentacle it. Or rather, feeder tentacle it. Come on, identified you. Alright, it is stuck, and feeder tentacle time. It's a very, very odd way to do this, but it is what it is. Feeder tentacles, please, and stop where you are. And yeah, you guys do it as well. How's the rest of our ships looking? Yeah, you guys move forward, please. Looks like one of you might have lost your brains, but whatever. The enemy... The fleet is dead, so we have won this, but we are certainly taking damage. You guys keep boarding the Photep, I guess. Alright, your tentacles are out. Yeah, now see, this is the biggest problem of this fleet. We've killed the entire enemy fleet. Photep is there, but we can't do damage to it. Oh, man. I guess we just have to sit here and wait. Nothing to do about it. I mean, it's gonna slowly get boarded to death. Let's just try to destroy its, well, probably pointless to destroy its engine or anything like that. Try to destroy its weapons, in fact, for once. And if there's another spore field, let's make sure to just stay there. You get those feeder tentacles in there. How's that HP loss looking? Alright, another feeder tentacle, please. Alright, it's dying. It's certainly dying. It's getting a lot of fires on board as well. There we go. The HP is dropping actually surprisingly quickly, although we are losing ships. Yeah, it is a little bit bizarre that you just sort of have to sit there and use those tentacles without being able to apply any damage. But at least we did manage to pull it off. Very interesting ship, I gotta say. Alrighty, here we go. Now, who should we try fighting next? I say we do 2 more battles. Who would be really, really difficult? Interestingly, I think the Tau might be incredibly difficult by virtue of their application of their massive amounts of missiles. So maybe we'll do Tau. Maybe let's do Tau and Necrons. Necrons, as always, will probably be the most difficult, although we don't have ordnance at all, so that might help against the Necrons, but the damage they can dish out is a problem. Let's fight the Tau merchant fleet, who have more missiles and more carriers. Yeah, let's do that. Let's try it. I'm very curious to see how this will work out. Gotta give it up to the escorts, though, for doing their job well there. Definitely can't be bringing a lot of these ships without those escorts all over the place. Alrighty, here we go. Let's see how we can handle missile spam. Now, they can't see us yet. Oh, look at that little clutch kraken. I find clutches so adorable. They've got their little toofs. They just want to nom ya. And you don't want to let them nom ya. It's kind of rude. Alrighty, you guys move back, and you as well. Same sort of setup as we did last time. So, take all of you, group 2, into brace for impact, all of you, group 1. You guys can go into 0 engagement range. We'll set auto engagement range when we get a little bit closer. I really wish that you could set auto engagement range for your, wait, I did this wrong. There we go. Wish you could set the auto engagement range for these ships as well and just tell them to do their own thing and just continuously use tentacles, but unfortunately, it's not something that they can auto activate. Would be nice if they could. Alrighty, let's get a spore field out there immediately just to get it on cooldown, if nothing else. Plenty more spore fields where that came from once our little clutch krakens get on in there. Now we'll let them move up a little bit further. Oh wow, that asteroid, these asteroids look really big. It looks like if the clutch kraken smashes into one, it'll die. Although I'm sure it can nom it. And I'm sure the Tyranids do not munch on asteroids periodically. They may need biological stuff as I mean, they need biomass, but I'm sure they also need various minerals and stuff to create their bioforms. All right, go, 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 go. Tyranid rushes all over the place. And I guess we will set up some defensive harpies with our 2 ships in a few. Now, what are we looking at here? Yeah, unfortunately, the merchant ships are quite weak, so dishing out the damage won't be too... Ooh, are you gonna... Too problematic. Are you gonna hit this? It looks like you are. Beautiful. That one ship is now stuck. Or it's not stuck. Where'd it go? Okay, there we go. It just took a while for it to detonate. Oh, and it's a Star Spear. An enemy Titan. Okay, that's gonna be interesting. And you guys get ready. Cancel order now. Auto engage now. Ah, don't go for one shot. I hate when they do that. All right, you guys go forward this way. And then G. Oh, damn it. I meant F. Oh, well, too late now. My bad. Go forward, go forward, go forward, go forward. And all of you, no, cancel orders. Attack. You guys move towards that Star Spear. We gotta trap it. Trap the Star Spear. You guys, F, please. Here we go. You attack this. Attack this little ship's cow. How are you guys moving forward? Still taking your time, but that's okay. Our clutch krakens will at least take care of the enemy escorts. Oh, and here come the missiles, but at least they will be launched at the krakens and not anything else. There we go. You're attached now, and you're gonna try as well. How are we doing out here? You guys, go after this. You keep going after this. I love watching the clutch krakens go to work. This is such a fun little ship. You go here, and then you can follow along as well. Alrighty, and the rest of our fleet. You know what? I should probably make you group 3. Yeah, just so that you're out here and not dying. Everybody else move forward. Let's go and after that Star Spear. Honestly, just the clutch krakens by themselves are kind of wreaking havoc on this Tau fleet. Oh, poor Tau. Alright, let's find that Star Spear, shall we? Launch some defensive harpies, and everybody find this thing, and let's set up an Echo Spore out there as well. You go Echo Spore, all of you. Time to get your feeder tentacles on. And then move close enough so that you can actually board the enemy ship. Alright, you guys, do the same thing, please. Oh wow, the enemy fleet is actually not doing a great job of killing our little escorts, eh? Alright, well, all of you, keep moving forward. Can we board you? Almost close enough to actually normal board. Lovely. Alright, you're in call to arms now. Good luck with that, buddy. Board, and then let's move at least a few ships towards you. Feeder tentacles all over here. You guys gonna apply some more feeder tentacles to this Star Spear. Oh, look at it. All the little clutches are still alive, too. Move out here and try to annoy that ship, please. There you go. There you go. This works quite well, actually. Surprising. Well, probably not surprisingly against the Tau, and just like that, the Star Spear is done for. Alright, swarm ships. I'd actually be really curious just to compare the swarm ships with the other battle cruisers that do the same sort of stuff, though. Like, is this actually as effective, or to what degree the difference is? I don't know what the hell that tentacle was doing there, but it looked real fun. Oh, man. Yeah, because imagine we had the same tentacle capacity, but also had like I don't know how many ships worth of harpies and ether swimming bruise squadrons, we'd be able to probably stop the enemy fleet in its tracks just by virtue of all the attached harpies and stuff from a distance before our clutches got there. All right, Necrons, one final battle. This should be the most difficult one. The enemies do have a lot going for them and this sort of thing. Let's see. I'm surprised how effective it's been thus far, but we gotta remember that the enemy fleets that we fought are not particularly strong against the Tyranids. I mean, they are, it's just that they're not in the hands of the AI. It's mostly an AI issue. Alrighty, and then you go right back here. And I still want to keep testing these out at, you know, standard fleet versus standard fleet. Obviously, these ships would probably be a lot less effective in a massive battle, as it would be difficult to control them all, and they would be suffering a lot more damage from actually enemy firepower. But then again, we'd probably have a lot more escorts to be able to use there as well, so that's still a thing. Alrighty, Group 1, Group 2, Group 3. Probably should have done that a little bit differently, but whatever, too late. Brace for impact, reload, and reload. Thank you all. Ready up, get to it. Well, let's find us some Crons. Man, if they had brought in Anubis, I would have actually been really interested to see how he would have fared against an Anubis, because that ship is quite nasty. I mean, also a Throne of the Silent King, but obviously you can't bring it in a standard battle. Let's do it. Spore Field and Echo Spore, go. Hopefully that hits something. I probably shouldn't have launched the Spore Field, or the Spore that close to the enemy. I just want to take a look at it here. It'd be funny if like the Biomorph Wrecking Ball, if it hit a ship directly, it did a crazy amount of damage. 18 damage per second to every non-Tyraniid ship. You know what we could have also done with this particular fleet? We could have given it the blood upgrade. I went for Lictor Brood. Ironically, we're not really using it that much because we're still getting up close with the enemy, but that might not be the case with the Necrons, especially since we can board them immediately since they don't have shields. Yeah, but instead of the Lictor Brood, I suppose what we could have done is, as I said, go for the blood ability once our ship started to take damage. All right, anyway, you guys auto-engage, and wait, 0, auto-engage, and cancel order. Okay, I don't need that many of you going this way. I don't need that many of you going this way. There we go. Just like a couple of you. The rest of you need to deal with the important ships. No offense to the other ships, but some are more important than others. Kind of hard to get the angles right. Ooh, why did you use the Star Pulsar? Just because we have a lot of little ships? Cute. Rest of you, go out here. We're already taking damage. Yeah. One of the other reasons the Necrons are going to be difficult to deal with is because they can dish out a lot of hurt while their stuff propagates to your swarms. And all of you press adrenal glands and try to get close to the enemy ship. Yeah, that Imhotep Cairn is just fine. Yeah, that's a lot of ships. Oh man, and a Cairn Annihilator as well. Okay, we need to book it and do this thing. You guys move forward, move forward, move forward. You're gonna be taking a lot of damage very quickly like this. And you know what? Maybe board it immediately with the Lictor Swarms. You guys can board it manually after you get closer. Get closer, get closer. Gotta get those feeder tentacles on. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3. Keep going, keep going. And another feeder tentacle, go. All right, you guys, feeder tentacle out here, please. All right, we still have... Oh, that other ship jumped forward, okay. Well, you guys can all then take care of these other ships. Oh, look at that tiny little dirge out here. Once again, just the clutches are so fun. Well, look at the little clutches. I mean, the big clutches are fun too. This is pretty funny though. Look at all those tentacles all over the place. Ah, the bio-horror is real. It certainly looks like a cool fleet. Let's see, you're taking damage, but honestly, a lot of that is, I bet, from the Spore Field and the Clutch Krakens just munching on you. You guys are starting to take damage yourselves. Yeah, so that's certainly concerning. Losing all your turrets quite quickly as well. Don't need to really regenerate troops or anything. Well, yeah, here's the problem. We just have to sit here now, basically. At least all the enemies are Awakening Warriors, but there's really not much we can do. And that's another reason why Harpies and stuff would be quite useful here. Because if we had more Harpies, we'd still be able to capitalize on this a little bit more. Alright, how's it out here? Oh, the little clutch krakens are gonna destroy the enemy Admiral Shroud. Oh, yeah, poor AI. Well done, little guys. Very, very well done. And now it's just this Cairn Annihilator, which we can continue feeder tentacling as we get those tentacles going back up. There we go. More feeder tentacles. More. And yeah, we could do damage by using our other tentacle. Our hook tentacles, but the problem there is that if we smash in, oh, then again, I didn't get it so close that it did smash. Maybe. Boarded it some more. 68, and I think this ship is gonna flee, and then that'll be the end of this battle. I'm actually really surprised that we did as well against the Necrons as we did. There we go. There we go. The damage is certainly there. All right. Another victory for the Tyranids. Oh, and I actually forgot about our Admiral just by virtue of trying to keep it safe so that all of our ships didn't rout. But yeah, there it is. I think I am going to call this showcase here. It worked out reasonably well, surprisingly. As I said before, I don't believe it would work nearly as well against a player. But if you did manage to trap a lot of the enemies in spore fields, as we did, I think that it does work out fairly reasonably. Once again, I'm just fully admitting to my surprise as to how effective that particular ship turned out to be, though once again I would suggest not bringing just these and sticking to, you know, only a few of them, while the other various infestation, or rather tentacle battle cruisers, you know, make up the bulk of this sort of fleet, with the obvious addition of the various escorts. You could use other escorts as well, like ones that have artillery or weaponry. I just personally prefer using clutch krakens for everything because I love the little guys. They're adorable, and I love clutches in general and the close quarters melee thing that they've got to offer. Anyway, I mean, you could also bring a bunch of tentacle escorts just for fun as well. They still can apply all those assault actions, although I tend to prefer the clutches because they ram the enemy and then turn into spores, so they're already in close range, whereas the other ships might not be able to. But there are various other ships that you could bring for cheaper price if you were to bring a lot of cheaper tentacle ships. So there's that consideration as well. Anyway, next time we will be continuing with our look at the Tyranids, because there are other Tyranid ships to still take a look at, so stay tuned for that. Hope you enjoyed the swarm ships, weird as they are. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment for your friendly neighborhood heretic. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.